I'm Katie, and welcome back to Crafting with Katie. Today, we are going to continue on with our picnic theme. Last week, we did the food cover, so no bugs were going to get in on anything that we were eating outside. Today, we're going to be tackling this picnic basket. I saw it in the window, knew I had to have it. So the inside here is just plain with some elastic here. I am going to be using some wedding aisle fabric. It's really cheap and flexible fabric, and I'm going to be making a pattern out of this and creating a fabric insert. Let's go ahead and get started. You'll need a basket, fabric, and a sewing machine. I found this basket at Angel's House of Treasures in Cadillac. The first step is to get the measurements we need. Instead of using a ruler, that will come in later, we are going to draw it out. I want to do that for the bottom and the two sides. Here comes the ruler. I'm adding a 1/2 inch for the seam allowance around all sides. I also want the fabric to come out of the top and fold over, so I'm adding 4.5 inches to the top. So now that we have these cut out, I am going to go upstairs into my craft room and I'm going to iron and prepare our fabric so that we can cut them out and start sewing. Next thing to do is iron my fabric flat so I can lay down my pattern pieces to trace. Pin the pieces down and trace around them. I'm using a heat pen that will disappear when I go over it with my iron. Carefully cut them out and lay them out to pin. I have everything cut out. We've got 2 of the sides, 2 of the ends, and 1 of the bottom. We're gonna pin that all together and sew it. I'm doing the long sides first. I have it done with my square bottom. What I'm going to do is grab the basket and see if this fits. I don't know if it's big enough. Okay, so it's a little too small. I seam ripped the sides and sewed it again with just a 1/4 inch seam allowance. It fits. Okay, so this is what I have. Now I have to attach it. I wanted it to roll over and sit on the outside of the basket, but I think I'm just gonna attach it with short staples and add a strip of fabric to the top to cover it. Took a little break from working on this, went out and got a couple of things. I ended up getting a 1/4 inch staple here, so I'm gonna be able to staple the fabric into the wood, a staple gun that I had around the house. I set up my fabric how I wanted it and used clothespins to keep it in place. I don't want to pull the fabric too high, so I'm checking to see if the bottom of the fabric and the bottom of the basket are touching. I put the basket on its side and start stapling. This was a little nerve-wracking. I didn't want my fingers to get in the way. I just folded the extra fabric behind and stapled it down. After the first couple of staples, I got the hang of it. I cut the fabric that's going to cover the staples and folded it in half. Then I ironed it again in half so there would be a lip that hangs down over the staples. It's kind of hard to see, but I stapled right under the crease. Look how well it turned out. No visible staples. Now I pop off these staples and replace the elastic. I use the holes left from the previous staples as my guide. We are all done. Look at this. We've got brand new elastic here, perfect for all your silverware. And I'm gonna be using some of this feed and wax just to condition the wood, and this basket is gonna look brand new. Now all I have to do is thrift some plates, some cups, some silverware, and we'll be all set for the next picnic. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye everyone.